Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repairs. Today I got up early and went out and got something. Alright, here we are. It is a 2011 Gibson Explorer. So I've tried out a few Explorers in my day, but it has been a very long time. I almost forget how they feel, how they play, everything. So it'll be nice to get a refresher with this guitar. And yeah, it's in really good shape. The only thing that I did to it so preemptively was there was a pretty nasty chip out of the front here. So I just did a drop fill repair on the chip. It's not perfect, but it looks a lot better than it did before. Let's see if I can find it there. Yeah, right there. And all I did for that repair is I used some India ink to make the chip totally black, and then I just filled it in with some lacquer. So there's a little bit of a raised section there. It's hard to focus the camera. There's a bit of a raised section there where the lacquer dried, and it actually feels quite smooth. Like, you can definitely notice it's there, but it's not so bad. And you can only see it when you're really looking for it. So I think that's going to be fine for me. And everything else on this guitar is really nice. It's got the 498, 490 RT pickups, which is in a lot of Explorers and Vs and stuff like that around this time period. It's got two volumes and a master tone, and a really nice looking rosewood fingerboard with mother of pearl dots, and this one has like a Graphtec nut and a mother of pearl Gibson inlay at the end of the hockey stick headstock. These headstocks are really nice because of the nice straight pull. So a lot of the issues on like a Les Paul is the tuning stability, and that's because they all kind of branch off at 45 degrees to go to the tuning machines. These ones are nice and straight, so they're really good for tuning stability. And yeah, here's the back. Again, really good shape. The only real issue is that ding that's been repaired. And it's a black guitar, so it shows every single fingerprint and scuff and ding and everything else like that. And what's really common on this era of guitars is they finish the guitar after they stamp the serial number. So on a lot of this era guitars, it's really hard to read the serial because they're pretty much covered by the finish. You can still see it if you hold it up to the light or whatever, but yeah, that's very common for Gibsons of this time period. And okay, so let's go ahead and put it on the bench and get some specs. Okay, here we have our weight at 8 pounds, 6.3 ounces, so pretty light. Alright, first, our neck width at the first fret is 1.70, and at the 12th, 2.06. First fret neck depth, we have 0.837, and at the 12th, 8725. And I just want to show off the rosewood on the fingerboard. It's really gorgeous. It's got a really nice streak to it, very nice and streaky, and a lot of different colors too. Some darker browns, some lighter browns, some reds. Yeah, really gorgeous. Alright, here's the neck profile. So yeah, it's a kind of a flat C, kind of approaching D territory, and it even flattens out even more by the 12th. So this is pretty close to like a D neck, but I still think it is considered a C. I'll have to double check the specs. And yeah, as far as chunkiness goes, it feels a lot like a 60s style Gibson neck. It's not too chunky, a little bit thinner. Alright, and here's our pickup readings. So on the bridge pickup, we're reading a 14.89. On the neck, we've got an 8.41. And in the middle, we're looking at 5.37. Show our truss cavity here. So the truss rod looks good with a lot of room for adjustment, so it's not maxed out at all. And then I just want to show off that the fretboard again without strings on there. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. There's so many colors in there. It's nice and streaky. It's one of the nicer fretboards I've ever seen, actually. It's pretty good. And the frets are in really nice condition. I might throw them on the buffer just because it takes very little time and it'll make them super shiny. But there's no visible fret wear at all. Good shape there. And then for the bridge, this is just an API branded bridge, which is like the Nashville style. And feels like a full weight tailpiece. And it's branded Advanced Plating Incorporated, which is stock for Gibson of this era. Okay, so I've got all the screws out. We can have a quick look at all of the electronic parts here. So I kind of forgot this on Explorers, and it kind of cracks me up. So they make this giant route all the way from the horn to the controls back here. And it's about like 3/4 of an inch, if not maybe an inch. And it's all for 3 little wires. So 1 wire that goes to your 3-way switch and 2 wires that go to your pickups. You'd think that they would just drill 1 hole or something like that, but anyway, I'm sure it helps with the weight relief anyway, which is why this guitar is a little bit lighter. But yeah, there's our cavity. It looks good. No issues with the route or anything, and that's the original switch. As far as the pickups go, we've got our, it's a 500T pickup, and this is a 498, I believe. Oh, no, 496R. So this is a 496R 500T pickup set. So I think I got that wrong in the beginning specs. I also found out this is a 2016, not a 2011. So in those 2 years, I think between 2014 and 2016, maybe a little later, Gibson changed the format for the serial numbers. So they put the first 2 digits were going to be your serial number year, instead of the first and 5th digit being the year. So this is a 2016. And there's our cavity routes. We've got a long neck tenon there. So EB for ebony. And we can see the mahogany there. And then DSXR, something Explorer. I'm not sure what that means. People working at the factory will know. So yeah, everything looks good. And the routes look nice. And long neck tenon. I forgot that was a spec on this guitar too. So cool. Now we can see our back cavity. And here's just a quick look at our cavity. Not much to look at. It's a pretty small cavity on Explorers. Smaller than the route for the 3 wires, actually. But anyway, yeah, it looks like a nice clean route, and you can see our Gibson branded pots in there. And yeah, everything looks original and proper and hasn't been messed with. Someone has added strap locks to this guitar. It came to me that way, so you can use strap locks on here as well. Schaller, it looks like. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the strings on it and we'll do a setup. It came with 11s on there, so someone was using it for pretty heavy stuff, probably down tuning metal. So it needs a setup for sure. So I'm just gonna throw a set of Ernie Ball 9s on there and then we can check the setup. Okay, so I just want to show the setup here quickly. See if I can get a good angle here. Sec. So yeah, there's our action, nice and low. So at the 12th fret here, using our millimeter gauge, we're looking at about 2 millimeters on the low E and like 1 to 1.5 on the high E, and this is actually closer to 1.5. So 1.5 and 1, and then I can show the action, the relief on the neck. So yeah, the notch straight edge is like resting pretty much flush against the fingerboard, so there's very little relief in this neck, but that way we can get the action nice and low, and there's no buzz on this guitar either. So yeah, it's set up perfectly. I did tune it on the Strobo Plus HD tuner and intonated it as well, and the intonation's bang on. And I'll just show you how I can go up and down the fretboard without any buzz here. Set up and intonated and tuned and good to go. Let's go ahead and plug it in and see how it sounds. It's always a little awkward to hold an Explorer. It kind of has to sit right where that the break angle there is there, and your arm's kind of way out here, so it's a little awkward to play sitting down, but yeah, we're gonna deal with it. Alright, here I am plugged into the Fender 65 Deluxe Reverb. I'm using the PS1 Power Soak Attenuator. No pedals, just straight into the amp. And we'll hear how it sounds clean, and then I'm going to do overdrive and then distortion. So around the bridge pickup, I'm going to do some open chords and some finger picking just to see how it sounds clean. Alright, now I'm gonna jack up the amp a little bit, get it to around 6 or 7, just so we get some of that tube overdrive for the amp. Alright, I'm on the bridge pickup. Neck pickup. So yeah, it sounds pretty good overdriven. There's definitely a lot of just overdrive there. These pickups are really pushing that amp a lot harder than some of the other pickups I've used at around 6 or 7 on the deluxe reverb. So now I'm just going to go ahead and turn on a distortion pedal as well, just to see how that sounds. I'm going to put on a tube screamer, and then I'm going to put on the Toro servo pedal. So Alright, so now that we've taken this thing apart, set it up, and tested it out, heard what it sounds like, what do I think of this thing? Well, it's a really nice guitar. It's nice and light, under 9 pounds. The shape's a little weird to me. Like, I haven't played a lot of Explorer, so it takes a little getting used to. Sitting with it here, your arm is really far out, so something I'm not quite used to. I'm used to kind of having it over here. I guess you could switch legs, but then the horn's kind of getting in your way over here. So I primarily practice sitting down, so this definitely wouldn't be like a practicing guitar, unless you found a comfortable way to hold it, which I have not yet. So this is more of like a stage guitar, I would say. It looks pretty cool, so yeah, it definitely would stand out on stage. It plays great. It needed a bit of a setup because the previous owner had it set up for 11s, which is a pretty heavy string. So I needed to do a slight truss adjustment and intonate it again. I moved the saddles a little bit, but just minor stuff. I polished the frets again, so they're super shiny. Let me see if I can focus here. Yeah, so they're like immaculate now. Very shiny and smooth, and they feel great. Action's nice and low, no buzz anywhere, which is great. I have it set up with 9s. I prefer 9s on my guitars, even for like shredding guitars. Just makes it easier to bend and feels better on my fingers. I use a really light pick as well, but you can set this up however you want. The truss rod looks good. Yeah, no issues with this guitar at all, except for that one little ding that I repaired. I put some India ink in there to match the color, and then I just drop filled it with lacquer. So it's there, but it's not very noticeable at all. You have to get right up close to see it. And it matches the color well, and it's sealed, and it's nice and smooth. The pickups, yeah, they were pretty aggressive. They really pushed the amp, even at lower volumes, just because they're a hotter pickup. This is the 496 and 500 combo. I got that wrong at the beginning, so yeah, they sound quite good, especially good for metal. They cut right through. You don't have a lot of mud. You get that nice treble kind of top end when you're even with distortion, which is nice. It does sound really good clean though too. Even, you know, how you set up your amp or how you have your pedals, you can get some nice overdrive out of here too. So this would be good for like classic rock or even metal, and it's got nice clean sounds too. The design of the Explorer neck is nice because you have nice even string pull, nice and straight. So that means the string's not binding at the nut. Like on Les Pauls, they tend to go like this and like this at like 45-degree angles. Well, not quite 45, but you know what I mean. That binds the nut here, so that makes tuning stability issues. And this is just a lot better design for that. And yeah, everything's original on it. Yeah, it comes with an aftermarket case here. Let me just see if I can. Let's see. I'm not sure where the camera is pointing. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay. So yeah, there's the aftermarket case. It fits the Explorer well. I believe these in 2016, that's the year of this guitar, I believe they came with like bags, gig bags. So whoever had this last upgraded to a hard shell case. And yeah, it fits the guitar well. It also comes with the original case candy, which is your user's manual and your QC card with the original date and serial number on it that matches. And then you also have your Schaller strap locks that someone has installed on the guitar. So this is a nice little upgrade. You can just put this on whatever strap you want, and then you have strap locks on your guitar. So yeah, if you're interested in this guitar, I'm going to have it up on the Reverb page. That link will be in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for tuning in to Beckler Guitars and Repair, and I'm going to have more for you really soon. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.